Good evening. It's a wonderful evening, and on behalf of Dayapuram fraternity, I feel privileged to extend a warm welcome to all present to be a part of the inaugural ceremony of the Coding Club. With the world shrinking to digitization, the benefits of learning beyond books have to be looked into. By tracking the transformation, our school, Dayapuram, decided to move with the times. It's not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change. Technology is what drives the world today, and students need to be in tune with the latest developments. Coding in schools will give them a head start.
One song can change a moment. One idea can change a world. One step can start a journey, but a prayer can change even the impossible. Miss Neba of class 10th will chant the prayer. I request all of you to raise from your seats for the prayer.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to God, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, the most gracious, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment, filial worship and thine aid we seek. Show us a straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath and who cannot astray.
Thank you all. Please be seated. Genial S. Anil of class 10th, President of the Coding Club, is ready to officially welcome you all to join us. Genial, over to you.
A very good evening, one and all gathered here. I, Genial Estani of class 10, welcome you all to the special occasion. We have all gathered here to be the part of Coding Club inauguration ceremony. Due to living in an increasingly digitalized world, computer coding is very important for students for their future. These transferable skills enable students to learn relevant and competitive skills whilst developing a problem-solving mindset at an early age. I'm immensely thrilled and proud to announce that Dayapuram, our school, is now again providing students a big opportunity through this coding club to be the creators of technology from being the learners of technology. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Some stars shine at night, some stars shine at bright daylight. It is our pleasure to welcome one such star, Mr. Krishna Kumar, the Director of Enterprise Solution Services, including Cloud and Artificial Intelligence of the State of Texas, Department of Information Resources, USA. Honorable Chief Guest of today's function, welcome, sir. I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Adil Siti, the Executive Secretary, Al-Islam Charitable Trust. Welcome, sir. The essence of great leadership is influence, not authority. With this note, I would like to welcome our respected principal, Jyoti ma'am, and CEO of Cyber Square, Mr. Harris, to this function. Welcome, ma'am and sir. He who puts his soul and heart in uplifting others attains dignity. I'm extremely delighted to welcome all the dignitaries present here, and thank you for being part of this great event. It's my pleasure to welcome all the parents who have joined us. Last but not least, I sincerely welcome all my friends. You are talented and smart. I'm sure that Coding Club can give you all a wonderful experience and a lot of knowledge. Once again, I take this opportunity to extend my hearty welcome to everyone present here. And thank you for being in this event. Also, I give my regards and appreciation to all people who made this occasion a reality.
Thank you, Genial. Encouraging new experiences by facilitating and incorporating strategies to acquire the skills for a better world are brought out by our techno-aspirant Executive Secretary. May I invite Mr. Adil Siti, Executive Secretary, Al-Islam Charitable Trust, to do the preface.
Respected Mr. Krishna Kumar, my friend, Mr. N.P. Harris, conceptualizer of Cyber Square from London, Mr. T.G. Abraham, Deputy Director, the faculty members, department heads and compartment heads, teachers, parents, and my dear students. May God's peace be upon all of us. I have been in communication with Mr. Krishna Kumar for the last few days, and I would like to start by expressing our deep gratitude for him on behalf of the Abram Collective, who happily and wholeheartedly accepting our invitation to inaugurate our Students Coding Club. And I'm sure that by now, Krishna Kumar have already become a Dayabaram enthusiast. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. Dayabaram, as a center which has always taken up challenges, has shown the courage to think differently without deviating from its foundational values, took up another challenge by adopting a new curriculum to teach computer science in the year 2017. And thanks to Harris for introducing CyberSquare to the Abram, which is a curriculum that attempts to transfer students from just users of technology to creators of technology, which we started as an extracurricular activity in 2017 after understanding its possibilities. And thus, the Abram became the first school in India to adopt programming starting from grade 1 onwards. Later in 2018, CyberSquare was integrated into the regular curriculum, and we had our first edition of Digital Festival in 2018-19. In the second edition, 2019-20 academic year, we had the presence of India's IT leaders, including an inaugural message from NASSCOM President Debjani Ghosh, and it was in this year we updated the curriculum by integrating artificial intelligence. And then in the third edition, which was organized online and was inaugurated by Professor Saji Gobinath, Vice Chancellor, Kerala University of Digital Science, Innovation and Technology. And even our KG students, UKG students participated in the event along with the students of the Abram Residential School, starting from grade 1. And now today we are taking this to the next level by launching a coding club for our students. Digital Fest was conceived as a platform for our innovative students to showcase, to exhibit their coding, designing, and presentation skills. And now through Coding Club, we are giving a space for the talented, for the interested, for the gifted students who are passionate about technology, where we train and equip them to take up different role in digital world by applying what they have learned through CyberSquare. At this juncture, let me take this opportunity to congratulate and appreciate all the students for becoming a part of Coding Club. We see that in future, our students are going to create their own digital environments and will lead the society. We have already seen many technological innovations. We should be able to foresee and prepare for innovations like the Internet of Senses. We need to prepare our children for the future, and it has to start at an early stage from school, and that's what the Abram is trying to do. And the efforts of our teachers, CyberSquare trainers, volunteers of the Abram deserves special mention and appreciation. And it is this teamwork that has contributed to this journey. And I would like to appreciate the school leadership team led by the principal for accepting and taking it as a challenge positively and accepting all new things which is found to be good for our students and for the next generation. And this we need to have a team with that kind of commitment and courage to take up challenges like this, because we have to learn new things and learn and again teach the students for achieving these goals. And let me conclude, and before I conclude, my happy Teachers' Day wishes to all my colleagues. And there is a Chinese saying which goes like this: teachers, open the door, you enter by yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Dayabram is proud to show certain snippets of the digital fest conducted for the 3 consecutive years. Digital season 1 and 2 were conducted offline, but the third one was in the online mode. COVID-19 pandemic didn't restrain us. Our students took it as an opportunity to move ahead with the challenging times. May I request all of you to watch our students' interest and expertise in technical skills. Thank you all, and happy to share that the video was compiled by the faculties of computer science. A stalwart in the field of coding and artificial intelligence, our chief guest has a slew of achievements to his credit. It's my honor and privilege to introduce our chief guest of the day, Mr. Krishna Kumar, whose spectacular performance substantiates. Mr. Krishna Kumar is the Director of Enterprise Solution Services, including cloud and artificial intelligence for the state of Texas Department of Information Resources. He also leads the award-winning Texas Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Center of Excellence and Texas Cloud Tiger team. He has an executive certificate from MIT Sloan School of Management in Leadership and Management, including Artificial Intelligence, Machine Learning, and Internet of Things. He has also served as Senior Technology Executive for Accenture's Intelligent Software Engineering Services Group. With a brilliant, remarkable, and excellent experience lasting of more than 2 decades in technology startup and leadership roles, Mr. Krishna Kumar is the right person to be our esteemed guest for the day. I cordially invite our honorable guest, Mr. Krishna Kumar, to officially inaugurate our coding club. All of us are eager to listen to your words of wisdom. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Hope you all can hear me. Thank you. So it's a great honor and privilege to be here with you, and especially a school like Dayapuram, which has been in our hearts and minds for a long time. As you all know, I was introduced to the school long time ago by Miss Sakina Faisal, a colleague of mine, and we went to school as well, in a journalism school also as together. And almost every talk would end in some anecdotes or some nice things about, Dayapuram, and that's how we all, got to know about the school. And later a great briefing by, the executive secretary, Mr. Adil, and he called me and he sent me a lot of information that was, that I've been using for the last several days to, do my research, do my reading, and to understand what the school is all about, what is the philosophy, and almost everything. So it's very spectacular. Having been to a residential school, I thought I was a little bit late in going to a residential school. I went to a residential school only from 6th to 12th. And I would say that if there is one thing that has made a significant impact on my career, my life, the way I do things, is my life at the school. And you would have heard the same thing from a famous movie star who is very close to this, the school, and the founders, who talked about, I'm not going deep into that subject, but Prithviraj, he also went to Sainik school, and he also talks about what the school has made of him. So the residential kind of thing where we help each other is one of the core foundation of your existence. So without a long, I want to be very cognizant of your time. I've been given about 15 minutes. I will divide it into 3 5 minutes chunk, and then talk about each topic, and then get to some good messaging and something that I think it'll be all beneficial for you all. It's too early in the morning here. It's about 5:50 a.m. All are sleeping, and so I get that support from family, which is very, very essential for all our success, and I'll be very conservative of that as well. So without any delay, I want to, I don't want to forget that my honorable, the statute that was given to me to inaugurate the club. And it's a great thing. I've not seen anywhere where coding is introduced to as young as first graders. My second son goes to first grade, so I can understand, the kind of interest that that age group would have. And as Ms. Adil said, the gifted and talented, there is a special program in the US in most of the school where, those students are taught 2 or 3 grades in advance. And seeing that and having some of those elements into the curriculum is one of the great things. So I with all the enthusiasm with that, watching that video, I wish I would have been there in person to do this, taking a flight on a Sunday evening or a Friday evening to be there with you on a Saturday morning or Saturday evening. I can be there by Saturday evening, I guess, with the timing. And then being able to do this inauguration in person and then fly back on Sunday and get back here to work on Monday. It would have been the greatest, thing I would have done if not for COVID. So I want to, officially, declare that the club is inaugurated, so that I don't forget to, say that and put it on record. And it is a great thing. It's one of the great things I've not seen in anywhere I've been, starting a coding club at this age, including this age, and also including all the grades, and a very amazing thoughts. And I declare this a club one of the newest, I would say, and one of the things that I would try and introduce even in some of the schools here, where we have direct reach and control. So I declare the club open. So now that the club is open, I want to welcome all the participants. It doesn't happen overnight. Teachers, students, parents. You need to have the vision, and it has to align with the school's vision, and it has to align, someone like Mr. Harris, you need support from private sector and people who would give, everything to this particular audience. And the last thing is, I wanted to give a shout, or, some of the words that I may use are very common in the US, so kindly bear with me. It may be, that's why I thought I'll talk in Malayalam after some time, because some of the words and the style we use are totally, how will I say, will be slightly different tone when you hear from your side of the world. So kindly pardon me if I make any such statements. But I want to give a great recognition to the founder, Mr. C.T. Abdul Rahim Sahib. And I was reading about him and his inspiration of, reaching out to, Sheikh Ansari, and the whole story about the river and meeting all the great minds and coming back from Qatar. And I wanted to say that, look, giving back and trying to put something together from ground is very challenging. And he has shown that by doing it. And the school is a testimony, or is like a proof of what he and several others of his time have done that. So always remember, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thinking, a lot of collaboration, money, more than the money, if you need to move certain things from, as in the introduction, they said, change, you need to move with the change. So I wanted to, give a great credit to the founders of the school and all the staff and teachers who are making this happen and sustaining that momentum and keeping that vision. For me, I'm not going, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go and thank all the people on this agenda. I want to be very cognizant of the time and really appreciate each and every one of you in putting this together. And 3 topics or 3 points were the key of my talk, and that's already been taken by many of you. So, I'll just go and reiterate one of the key thing, that you all should admire, or what helped me in this journey was, support from family. Because you may think, hey, as kids, as teachers, at every stage, you need their support. So that is a whole hard thing that you need to achieve even in this journey. So to share a brief about my story, I would like to know more as, someone from my village, who is the son of my dad. He was the past president of the Panchayat, and he was a leader, he was a teacher, Mr. K.P. Keshwan Master, and he was a public figure. And I learned a lot of things from him growing up. And by the time I was in about, 4th grade, I did not get admission to a great school. You can say an equivalent, landmark schools like Dayapuram back in Taliparamba, it's called Tagore Vidya Niketan. Okay. So in every friends, I was one of the topper in this in my grade or at the school, but I didn't prepare. Okay, so I didn't get. Everyone was preparing, and I thought I'll get it. I took it easy. I played around. So what happened? Everyone, when the results came out, everyone around me got it, and that was a big challenge that took upon me. And then I was in the hunt of, hey, what I need to prove myself, because and it has been a great learning opportunity for me that you need to put a lot of effort. You cannot take it for granted. Just because you are the topper in the school doesn't mean you can pass an exam. So you need to have a separate mindset for examination. That is a totally different topic. But that was a pivoting point in my career, if you look at that. And it was at the same time that my uncle, he was working in Milma Cananore, and he had a colleague who was in the boiler section late midnight, and his son was preparing, or they knew about Sainik school. Okay, and then in some evenings, some weekends, my uncle would come and stay with us, and he would talk about, there's a school where you have to get up in the morning, and just like talking about the residential camaraderie, physical strength building, and you can go to military, and building my dream. Even though my another uncle was in military, my grandfather was in the military, but it was him that he was in, putting that thing in me. I'm telling this for a reason. Okay, so, and then I started slowly preparing. Okay, and when you start to prepare, and when you set the goal, you go in a silent mode. You don't go and put on a Facebook, hey, I'm preparing for certain things. You don't tell around, because there are a lot of things that happens when you need to focus. Okay, you need less distraction. So I went into that mode, and some story from I always do that. So some story from the Mahabharata where the Ajnadavasa, right? So it's a good thing. You go into silent mode. You don't exist for other people, but you exist for yourself. So you close your eyes and start working towards that goal. And why I say this is because I went to a teacher who taught me math, and I later married his daughter, which is it's a great thing that happened to me. The neighbors didn't know that I was going there for a tuition for a year, and they only knew after a year. Means after I got admission. And I even had a friend of mine, close friend of mine, in that house. Okay, so why I'm saying this is not to be very secretive, but when you're focused, your goal should not be not to call out and say that, look, I'm going to do this. So what we are doing right now, goal setting for the next 10 years, I'm not going to go and speak. I'm going to work towards it, and only the people who need to know about that particular goal should know about it, those who care about it. And then I went to Sainik school, studied there for 7 years. I was an average student, going from Malayalam medium, got ADI for every day of my first year, because the teacher was a tough teacher. So that is another message. So if you think some teachers are, harming you, you need to be very clear to the leadership, and also the teachers. Also, my parents are teachers, and you should find the right teachers, and the right mentors are very good, very essential for our growth. So, but what happened was that when later in my life, when I was able to stand in front of many of the presidents of the United States and be able to talk to them in English, and be very close to them and get a pat from them, I didn't think about the beatings or the ID we got, because we were coming from Malayalam medium, and there's a 1 year of adjustment, to get into that, fully into that English, because you need to think in English, right? So when you get a question in English, you try to first translate back in Malayalam, and then try to, you need to do that processing in your mind, and that takes a lot of time. And one thing, the journey that I wanted to mention from here is that you need to, you all have done that just by being here in this school, in this inaugural club. You have made a great difference in my 3-point theory of rise, means rise above others. Okay, so there's a 3-point which I'll conclude, and that is my conversation to you all. So you have to rise, first of all, to achieve anything in life. And having the coding club, having been part of the coding club, or being part of the digital fest, amazing. I went to such a fest only after getting a job, and when we started showing technology to other people. And you will also see that some of the great pictures of Steve Jobs and all these inventors, you will see that picture from these trade shows. And that was what was reminding me when you all showed me that video of the digital fest. Amazing preparation, and like the introductory speaker said, is a great transferable skill, because you are able to not only prepare something, you're able to showcase it, and you're able to talk about it. and win the hearts of others. Okay, that's a greatest skill that you can think even have. And we pay a lot of money for people to come and do that. So I admire you all for putting that show. That shows your first character that you need to go great in life. It's rise above others. Okay, you all have done that. The second thing that you all need to do is pivot. Why you need to pivot? Because after signing, I was very much interested in biology in science school. I got close to 100 percentile in biology, and I was a topper, and nobody could beat me in that particular subject. That is about how you dive deep in that. But when I went to college, and when I came out of the school, when I knew more about it, then I slowly got distracted and got more into through peer pressure. You'll get into that. And I got into physics and electronics at Sarsayed College, Talipuramba, and I loved it. And I got admission to the college, but I was more fascinated from there. After some time, I thought, hey, this was not my area, and I pivoted quickly into journalism. And there was a mentor of mine, he's no more, Kalatul Ramakrishna. He was a bureau chief for Indian Express in Kannur. And from there, I pivoted again. Since my physics background, when I reached Deepika, I was focusing more on sports because I played all sports at school. So that's what I'm saying. So whatever you do at school, it'll come handy during your work and career. So don't miss a moment, don't miss a club, don't miss an opportunity to do extracurricular activities, drama, theater, go do and have fun. Okay, and you need to maintain a good grade. I don't, that's totally, you cannot ignore on that part. So from Deepika, I pivoted and I went back to New Delhi. That was my goal, always to be in New Delhi. And then I got after a national entrance and interview and everything, I got into Press Trust of India, one of the spectacular organization that give you a great exposure in Delhi. And within few days or so, I covered Durand Cup for them. So I'm just making the story short. I pivoted from sports to national journalism, and again went back to sports a little bit. And I knew I have to pivot. It was a time of A.B. Vajpayee's ministry, and Prabodh Mahachan was the IT minister, and they were just launching an IT ministry. And I quickly pivoted into implementing an IT bureau for Press Trust of India. And that got the attention of others. And I was offered a job in Microland, and I quickly moved there. I don't stay anywhere or in a project more than 18 months. I'll talk about the theory later on. So same, you need 6 months to rise, 6 months to pivot, and 6 months to thrive. So that is my great theory of if you ask me what is the secret sauce, you need to rise, pivot, and thrive, and you need 6 months for each of that. But this all changed when I met my wife, and she said, you don't take 6 months, you don't change in 6 months, you live as if you die on that day. Means by end of the day you're gone, so then how will you conduct your life? That changed my life completely. And that only accelerated more if you know the agile principles. Within 6 months I try to live every day, and then try to achieve the goals, and don't keep anything for later, and try to and I'm still learning. I'm still a student like you all, learning a lot of new things. So to go back from Microland, it was India.com and IT Space, one of the first IT portal, and the second one was India.com, which was indirectly part of. But there I hired someone, a friend of mine, by giving many more salary than I was expecting or I was getting. And he was talking to a US firm for the last 2 to 3 years. And the story was that when he came and told me, KK, I got this opportunity, and I'm very sorry to tell you that I have to leave this organization after 6 months, and you paid me more money, etc. But I said, look, LP, he was called Prashant, he was with you and I, a competing organization to PTI. And he quickly took up on, and then later when he was asked to recommend someone, he told my name. And that's how, I don't want to take the theory. So that was the great break. I got to US, and I was here from 2000. So in a few years, I was in media, and then I went back, and I was surrounded by the biggest inventors of the world, including the father of Intel Pentium, Vinod Dham. VCs, you name it, they were around me, or I was around them more than that. It's power of association. And then I slowly moved into consulting and started my own company, and then moved to Accenture, and the rest of the story was read out. So I want to go back and inspire you all with this great thing. Follow this principle. You need to stand above others, rise. Then you go and pivot. When certain things, when you think you are at a crossroads, pivot, because don't sit there and say that, look, hey, you don't need to be doing that for a whole life. It could be in same career. You should be teaching different things. You should be changing your teaching methods. If you are, invent yourself and do something very cool, so that you are not stuck down by the boredom and you're cursing for where you are now. You just pivot quickly. And then I told my friend, I evolved these 3 principles lately after I started talking to many of my friends and schools. Okay, so what happened was, I was telling Prashant, who was inspiring and inspirationally instrumental in getting me to the US. I told him the story a few weeks ago. He said, look, I told him, LP, I'm surviving. And he told me, no, you cannot use that word, KK. You have to say that you are thriving. So that's when I changed from the 3-1 to, it was rise, pivot, and thrive. So then, like a tree, we each must find a place to grow and branch out. That was one of the unique things that I was always inspired by. And that is one thing I would all recommend you to do that. So in your career, those are some of the principles you should do. And 3 more things, and then I will end my talk here. The next thing is where the principle is, my teacher at Sainik School, S.H. Sharma, sir, he told us, if you're running, you take any field. So he took the field of athletics. If you're running, you run like P.T. Usha. Okay, so if you're going to go and cook, you be the best in that one. So that was his message. And if you're being a teacher, be teacher, you be the best in that field. Okay, you pick any field and pick the field you like. Okay, I would always recommend, it doesn't matter. Slowly you will get to that, where you have to pivot. You will understand where your pivoting point is, and you can easily pivot. And this school will give you, and it is what you learn in the schools that'll give you that inner strength and courage. By being in residential school, one of the transferable skills, that I was telling you, the 3 points that was, taken already, in all these career moves that I did, I focused on people. I loved people. I cared people. Technology, all those things can come later, but people is the thing that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. That people skills you learn at this school here. You will deal one of the most toughest person in the corridors. You will meet people who tease you, who will and at that time you just shrug it off, and because those are all building your career, your character, your strength. Don't just go and punch them on the head, but you mentally grow and get that strength. So all those transferable skills that was initially talking about. Then the second point is change. Okay, in all these points, what I'm helping, or even from a digital transformation perspective, is that we are helping people change. That is the hardest thing for people to do. So when you do these things, when you do this rise, the same philosophy that I was talking about, or the solution that you all can do, help people change. It's very, very challenging. So I didn't bring any slides into the program because I don't want to be very monotonous, but only about 50% of the people. So if you take 100% of the people, 30% will not change with you. 50% are like in the middle. There is about 20% who will immediately jump into the water with you and say, hey, let's swim to the other side. So 20% you take care of immediately. 50% you take care of through the skills that you learn through the schools. Okay. And then with the help of this 52 plus 20, 70, and you together change the rest of the 30. Okay. So you only need to get to about 80%. So 20% of the people will never change. So you don't worry about those 20 people, and they will always try to pull you down. So always, keep this theory in your mind. And the last point, AI, everything, whatever we are doing right now, the recordings, if you type an email, if you do WhatsApp, if you do any technology today, you are indirectly a consumer of artificial intelligence. And like your motto, don't be the consumer, be the creator. Everyone can easily do programs in AI. It's not a rocket science. All the big companies have built the framework for it to do in a very simple drag and drop. Only the high advanced items would need help from an expert. Okay, and there are a lot of resource materials, items. I'll be very happy to provide that to you on a later day. And also, as you mature, as the club progresses, I also volunteer myself to come and teach you a 2-hour hands-on course to the selected, because I won't be able to do it to everyone. But if you all are qualified, and if your teacher says you are qualified, I'll take a time out of my career, my time, and we'll do a hands-on coaching session for you all on a Google platform called Quick Labs, and we'll give you the access to the lab, and we'll walk you through, and will help you put that first AI program for you. And later on, the school can, the club can take that and then teach others. So it is like teaching you and teaching others. So I'll take upon that. And then the last point I want to make you aware of is that we talked about the transferable skills, change, and you all took my thunder that be the creators, don't be the consumers. And team is another thing I want to leave with. So when you're growing from first grade to 12th grade, or when you work with teachers, parents, your cousins, your brothers, and everything, it's very, very difficult to accept some of them. Okay, so there'll be some challenges, but always go ahead with the fact that you are right, because you cannot go that you're a failure mind, then they'll knock you down. But go with that great strength and that focus and that confidence, that you grow from a self-confidence. But always listen to them. My boss sent me an email yesterday, and this is from that email. He was quoting a blog, and he said, when you are listening, listen as you are kind of a submissive mode. Listen to everyone, because that's why you can get a lot more thoughts, and always aggressively look at things from a very confidential manner. And the last point, I don't want to drain a lot of time from you: overseas studies. If you get an opportunity, don't miss an opportunity to study at a foreign institution after your Diabram days. It could be in anywhere, but if you think United States is one of your target area, put that in your goal. And there are a lot of institutions here who are willing to take. Last time when I looked at the statistics a few days ago, only about 20 million seats of US schools are taken, while there are 24 million seats available. And 4 million seats are vacant across the US for higher education. And China, all other countries are ahead of us in taking those seats. They may be a little bit behind in English and everything, but they make up with the hard work. So if you all can do the hard work, if you all can study, combine the residential, things that the school give you, and make sure that it all aligns towards your potential, and make yourself one of the greatest sellable branded asset. Okay, you need to be sellable, you need to build your own brand, and you build a brand from your school. And all these things are helping you build towards that. And I wish you all a great success in that. And it is a great honor to be a part of this. And thank you everyone for listening to me. And through the school authorities, you'll be able to reach out to me, and I'll be able to answer any of the questions that you have, and be, like Mr. Adil said, I'm already a Dayapuram fan, and my grandfather's home was called Mayapuram. So I just need to change one, letter, and that was one of my close thing that I was affectionated. I was quickly in love with the school, and being myself, being to a school. So go, build your dreams. We are all here to support your journey. Thank you.
Change is inevitable in life. Okay, life happens. As Sir told, we are ready to adapt and embrace change and make the most of everything that comes our way. Thank you, sir, for sharing your success story with the 3 tips: rise, pivot, and thrive. and also for acquainting and inspiring us with your thoughts on the much talked topic. Dayabram has officially launched its coding club. With much hope and anticipation, we are taking a step towards handholding our students to make them makers of technology. Before Harris sir explains to us what Coding Club is all about, let's watch a signature video on the launch of Coding Club.
Thank you for watching. As it is told, embrace change and make the most of everything that comes your way. The Abram, with the help and support of CyberSquare, adopted and adapted novel methods in the field of technology to be on par with the new normal. I invite Mr. N.P. Harris, conceptualizer, CyberSquare, to give us brief information about the need of the coding and coding club in school. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Hope you're able to see my screen. Okay, great, thank you. So I'll be talking like why Coding Club and what is the idea behind it. Kiko was already talking about the competition and rising above the bars, and Adil talked about like how we are preparing students for the future. So I just talk about it specifically what is that we meant by Coding Club. In a brief presentation, the contents will be what are the changes that is happening in the industry and what are the changes that is happening in the school, and then the gap and how are we trying to fill the gap, and then the future plans of Coding Club. So the changes in the industry is like everybody knows this globalization has happened long back, and then slowly the economy became knowledge based, and then I just want to talk about the gig economy. For example, we have people working from all over the world. They log into the online platform, and for example, freelancer.com, and we all know about Airbnb where we share our assets. Like nobody even thought that you will share one of your rooms for somebody outside, and then you might make money from that. So these kind of things, and then Uber transportation based services, and then it is said that in 2023 it will be a $455 billion a business. So the whole idea is that we don't have to wait this 20 years to be productive in the new industry. So that's what I wanted to communicate. And then what is the changes that is happening in the school? So with the COVID we went online. As you can see, this is the transformation that's happened in the COVID, and soon we will be back to this particular position. But the challenge that we are having is not many new subjects are introduced in the school. Schools like the Abram has introduced coding and AI from grade 1, but not many schools have introduced it. And fundamentally what I want to say is that there's no fundamental change that is happening. So what is the problem if there is no fundamental change? There's a gap. The student should learn almost everything after joining the office or industry. For example, like if you go to an industry, you have to set up a calendar request, but most people don't know that, or maybe how to use now not in the Abram people know how to use Google Apps and other things, but many of the school people still don't know about all these things. And it's all about most of the time it's a first time learning. So what happens is it will introduce a lot of time, and it will impart stress for the people. And there will be people who are not able to adapt really fast. I mean, we talk about, even KK was talking about changing all these things, but he talked about changing in 6 months time, and then his wife told why we have to take 6 months. But I feel that it takes the next 6 to 9 months to, if you want to really change your fabric, it takes that much time. And so the whole idea is that we want to give more time for people who are not actually adapt to the systems faster. And how do we fill this gap? Okay, we know that, okay, whatever we are learning in the school and, whatever we are learning in the, okay. Yeah, sorry about it. Yeah, so how do we fill this gap? Okay, so how do we fill this particular gap? We can fill this gap, by introducing what the students are doing in the industry at a young age. So that's what we are looking at. Like, stress will be less for the students as they have more time to learn it, and easy to learn at a young age. It's very easy for learning new things at a young age. And then another thing is that we, as he was talking about, KK was also talking about, if you get an opportunity, you should actually go and learn abroad. For example, in the US or somewhere, or maybe in the UK. The whole idea is that it is all about getting exposure. Like, okay, what is happening in the world? If you know those particular things, you will be competitive compared to other people, because as everybody knows, we are living in a globalized economy. And then international competitions, that's one idea that we have with the coding club. We will actually introduce students to, we will train students based on competitions, and then we'll be giving a global exposure. And the idea behind that is that we need to give children understand the other cultures and then their activities, and know where they stand as per the global standards. Most of the time what happens with the technology is that there'll be somebody who says that, okay, I've started using email as an achievement to somebody else in the world right now also. Okay, there'll be somebody who says that I've started using Zoom now also. So my point is that if you don't get exposed to other things, you wouldn't know where we are standing. So that is another idea of going for international competitions. And then what is the future plan for the coding club? So I was talking about, what we're trying to do here is that what is happening in the industry, we are trying to give that same exposure to the student in the school, so that their life will be easier and they can decide, okay, whether they want to go to these kind of roles in the IT industry. So the existing roles are coders, designers, presenters, entrepreneurs, trainers, filmmakers, digital e-safety leaders. So the whole future plan is that we will add more and more roles to the coding club, so that we address what is currently in the industry. I know that what some of the for example, site reliability engineer, this kind of roles didn't exist even 5 years back. So this kind of whatever is currently in the market, we will try to teach the students now itself, so that they are better prepared with their future. And then another thing that we want to do is, like, see, we are talking about only IT now, and see, there is no existence of IT without mathematics, physics, and other subjects, even biology and whatever, because IT or computer is a machine that needs to be applied in other subjects. So that is another, we will add subject roles related to other subjects also later. And then we will also conduct competitions like 10x Quarter, Cyberscore, Oscar. So you would have seen about filmmakers. That is one role that is part of coding club. So and then when we conduct that particular thing, sorry, we will conduct Cyberscore, Oscar award, and things like that, national and international level, and toppers will be able to travel. I mean, that's a future plan again. The toppers who are part of this coding club should be able to travel to the UK or USA for attending competitions. And then I would like to stop my presentation with one note from Richard Riley, that is, education should prepare young people for jobs that do not exist, using technologies that have not been invented to solve problems of which we are not yet aware. That's true, and we know that if we want to prepare the students for that particular thing, and since we are going to live in a digital world where everything is made up of digital, or at least everything will be connected with the digital things, it is better that we know the language of machines, that is coding. And here what we're trying to do is we are taking it to the next level, passionate, and people who are really like this. Okay, so that's it, and wish you all the best for the leaders of coding club.
Thank you, sir, for your quick detailing of the coding club. I would like to invite our dear principal, Mrs. Jyoti P., who encourages and strengthens all our activities, to deliver her thoughts. Ma'am, over to you.
Good evening, all. respected Chief Guest of the day, Sri Krishna Kumar sir, Executive Secretary Adar sir, Harris sir, Deputy Director, teachers, and my dear students. I'm very happy and excited to witness the inaugural session of Deyapuram Coding Club. This is a new initiative of this academic year. Designers, coders, entrepreneurs, filmmakers from Deyapuram, that is our dream. And I believe that this is the first step of that dream. And as you all know, Coding Club is open to all students, those who are interested in coding and computer programming. And we are preparing our students to live with technology and to be with the masters of technology. And as Deyapuram teachers and Deyapuram students are very lucky because our school management, especially our patron CT sir and our chairman Bashir sir, is giving all the support to all the new endeavors of Deyapuram. And let me take this opportunity to congratulate our computer science department, CCA department, Cyber Square team for your initiative to start Coding Club in our school. I wish all the very best to all the members of Coding Club. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Anjana P, in charge, Coding Club, will announce the names of leaders who will lead the Coding Club in different categories. Over to Anjana.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Krishna Kumar, Principal Jyoti ma'am, Executive Secretary Adil sir, Harry sir, teachers, and my dear students. Today, the importance of learning to code rivals even that of reading and writing. Learning to code helps develop a better understanding of the world around us. And learning the basics of coding helps the children to develop an appreciation of how things work. It builds problem-solving skills, competitive skills, and creativity. Here, we are getting an opportunity to upgrade the talents of our students in association with the vibrant Cyber Square team. I, Anjana, Coding Club in charge, feel honored to announce the Coding Club leaders. We have President is Genial S. Anil of grade 10. Vice President Fasin U. Rahman of grade 9. The role leaders are the coders team would be led by Nived PK of 9th C. The designers team by Amiga Shirin of 7th E. Presenters by Tirtha of 6th E. Filmmakers by Ashwin Paul of 8th C. Entrepreneur by Ishan Sharif of 6th A. Trainers by Aditya Dev of 6th C. Digital leader by Asra Nebel of 8th B. Also, the category leaders are Category 1, Lohit KR of 2nd E. Category 2, Rahan Omar of 4th A. Category 3, Johan John Matthew of 6th A. Category 4, Krishna Nanda S of 7th E. And Category 5, Muhammad Hadi T of 9th A. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjana. Congratulations and best wishes to all the leaders for driving Deyapuram into the field of coding. I call upon Fazeen, Vice President, Coding Club, to propose the vote of thanks.
A warm cherished evening to our beloved Chief Guest, Krishna Kumar Sir, Principal Jyoti Ma'am, Management Committee, teachers, and all my dear friends. First of all, my sincere thanks to Almighty God for making this event a grand success. It's my privilege to propose a word of thanks for this event. On behalf of our school, I express a really sincere gratitude to our Chief Guest, Mr. Krishna Kumar, the Director of Enterprise Solution Services, who spent his busiest time gracing the occasion. Today, we had the opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this is definitely encouraging us in our future events. Then also, let me thank Adil Sir and Harry Sir for their guidance. On behalf of all present here, I would like to thank our beloved Principal, Mrs. Jyoti P, for her continuous support. I also thank all other speakers for adorning the solution and sharing their opinions today. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling weeks ago. I thank the Computer Science Department. For conducting such a program as it should be. Last but not the least, a big thanks to all parents and my dear friends who made this program memorable. With these few words, let me conclude. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Fazin. From bottom of my heart, on behalf of Dayabram, I wholeheartedly thank Krishna Kumar sir for volunteering to train our selected students, which is a great opportunity for all Dayabrams. Once again, thank you, CT sir, our patron, Bashi sir, Chairman, Al-Islam Charitable Trust, for their continued support and motivation. Well, all of you, that wraps up our inaugural session. Goodbye, and thank you all for being with us, and expect the same support and cooperation in our future endeavors.